Okay, well, I'm sitting here today with this man known as Global Man, yeah, or AKA Peter Nolan. Yeah, this guy that co-hosted my radio show with me for a long time. This man over here that I've known for quite a few years now. And I guess what I want to say here is there's some recent events that I haven't been involved in, but I'm going to explain some things to you clowns out there. That's what I'm going to call you as clowns. And
It's
then I'm going to,
clown world. It's clown world.
yeah, clown world, okay? See, this man here, he worked his tail off for years. He had a wife, he had kids. He did what our system tells us to do. That's right. He followed what our society says to do. And he worked every day and brought home the bacon to support that wife and them kids. Well, then the wife, of course, after enough time goes by, she gets fed up with never seeing him, picks out things to make drama with. And but the end story would be she found his replacement while he was busy making the bacon. She throws him away, okay, just like women do. They crumbled up the wrapper. They're eating that burger now, throw it away. He was the burger wrapper. She threw him away, took his kids, took everything he ever worked for. Now, after she got through raping him with this using the system to rape his ass, she even turned his kids against him. He had a damn good right to be very angry. And I know I've had people over the years tell me, well, Peter Nolan's a very angry man. And I'm like, yeah, I would be too. Okay. And they would just throw this at me that, well, he's very angry. No shit. Okay. It's beyond me how you could not see why he wouldn't be angry. Okay. To not understand is like, I don't know if you got a screw loose, or maybe you were dropped at birth and smashed your head. I just don't understand your mentality, but I'll tell you what. So Peter hosted a radio show with me. We did that for a spill for a while. Peter and I have been around the block a few times. I totally understand Peter, okay? Peter, like myself, I've spent years reaching out to help men. Reaching out to help men. In return for helping men, this is what we get. We get called names, mocked, made fun of, thrown under a bus, thrown in front of a train, shit on, squatted on, walked on, don't give a fuck, okay? When he's tried to help you, tried to help you, and tried to help you. He's had his kids turned against him. And here's another scenario that happens to you. See, Peter being a married man, him and his wife for them years would have made married couple friends that they did things with when they had time, free time. And so here's something else I know that happened to Peter, and I don't even have to be in his life to know it because it's happened to me, and I've seen it happen millions of times. When the divorce happened because she threw him away, them married friends was now her friends, not his friends. Why wasn't they not his friends too? Well, because he had a penis between his legs, so you all threw him under the bus. Don't even tell me you didn't because you know you did. Okay, so he has a damn good right to be angry. And so then I got this, well, I guess he's been doxing people. Well, what have you been doing? Oh, that's right, you've been shitting, dumping on, treating everybody like dirt. Don't give a shit who you walk all over the top of. When Peter reached out to help you, what'd you do to him? Slapped him in the face, pushed him under the front of a train, threw him under a bus. You say, well, he docks children. Well, you sat back and you pampered her, you put her on a pedestal, and you allowed her to manipulate, lie, and brainwash your own children against you, the man. You see nothing wrong with that, huh? So with that being said, now maybe you know where I stand a little bit. Okay, this guy here I have respect for. whether you do or you don't. You want to call doxing a terrorist act? No, the terrorist act is your behaviors. It's the things I've told you over and over and over again. Back up, self check, pay attention to your own behaviors. Never do unto somebody that you don't want done unto yourself, but you all seem to be willing to do unto others that you don't want done unto yourself. So I'm going to let Peter speak for himself here because I think Peter's a great man. And if you don't like Peter, I don't care because I'll show you this.
Hey, Bill. Thanks very much for that extensive introduction. And thanks for inviting me on the Zoom. I mean, the things that are going on now. If we go back over the length of time, I mean, you and I known each other for a long time. I've said to people, of all the men I know, you're one of the few men that I say is a better man than me, and who's done more than me to try and help other men. You were out there a long time before I was out there, and you were standing tall a long time before I got run over by the proverbial bus. So, I've told a lot of people that you're one of the few guys I'd absolutely say is a better man than me, worked harder than me, got under the skin of our friends and colleagues in the Committee of 300 more than me. And that was interesting. But, back in the day, I went through the whole divorce thing. And the story that I tell is no less than four guys offered to solve my problems for me, one of them for free, just expenses. He just said, give me a couple of grand, her name, address, a photograph, current photograph. You don't have to worry, right? And in all those cases, I said, no, because the reason that I wanted my wife alive is I need to prosecute her for the crimes that she's committed, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't help if I gave a guy a couple of grand, like back in those days, but your viewers might not know, I was making 250,000 euros a year, right? Give a guy a couple of grand to go and solve my problems, that's not a problem, right? And the likelihood of being caught, nobody knows who these guys were. The likelihood of being caught is zero. And so, fine. However, that doesn't help all the other guys who are going through the criminal victimization of the courts and all the other stuff, the false rape allegations, the false sexual harassment allegations. We know the whole deal, right? You yourself lost your job because of false allegations from women.
Yes.
So, how to help other men is this woman who's committed perjury has to be prosecuted. And she has to be prosecuted publicly, and I have to be compensated publicly because somebody has to do the very first case, right? Somebody has to do the first case. There's never, in the history of the Western divorce courts, no woman has ever been prosecuted for perjury, not even one. Plenty of men have, but not even one woman has been prosecuted for perjury. So somebody has to start somewhere. And that was my starting point, get this woman prosecuted for perjury. Now, here we are. That was 2007. She committed perjury. Here we are in 2019. There's not a single woman standing up in the public saying, well, his wife did commit perjury. She did lie about him. And that perjury was acted on. They did take his house off him. They did take his kids off him. They did take everything that he had value in his life off him.
Yes.
I mean, hell, he even had to go to a lawyer to get his hat collection back. His wife wouldn't even give me his hat collection. She wouldn't give me any of my important paperwork, my degree documents, my superannuation documents. I don't know where my superannuation is.
Oh no, that's called a power trip. That's a weapon against you.
Oh yeah, all that stuff
And
happened.
that's all legally done, right? I mean,
that's not a problem,
right? And all these men out here, they stand by that, don't they? They stand for that.
Yeah, that they allow it to happen because they're silent about it. They do nothing about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you, I mean, you were around. You and I were around back in the day when I was saying what has to happen, given that the courts are our servants, the judges are our servants. They're paid for out of our taxes. That makes them our servants. And I was saying to men, hey, we have to establish new courts. We have to get rid of these judges and these lawyers, etc., because they're not doing the job that they're paid for by us. they're doing the job that they're told to do
Yeah,
by the powers
they're
that
the
be.
criminal system. I mean,
Yeah.
I was, I was looking at, there's this gal over in Australia who done a video. And I normally tend to not listen to these women; they're full of shit. But I was laughing because she was going through the laws and she was showing punishment by the court systems for women and men.
Yeah.
And everything she was showing, at least she was being honest. She was being honest and showing the truth. Everything was showing how the woman gets less time for the same crime. The woman gets a slap in the hand and sent home, and the guy gets thrown under the bus every single time. I mean, and that's in Australia, and I look at the reality is and people can't figure this out. I'm laughing because I'm looking at this and they done a report on loneliness. And I got my rocks on this one because here's this report out of Australia. It's only been out a couple months. Loneliness is an epidemic, a health crisis, okay? So, and I'm listening to the report and I started laughing my ass off. The first piece of people they threw up there as being the lonely ones were women. You mean the ones that are doing the rejection? You mean the ones that don't have to be lonely unless they choose to be lonely because they're the ones doing the rejecting. Okay. Second thing they done was they started talking about numbers when they were talking about what was going on. They introduced it in a world of more connected than ever. And I'm like, no. And a world more disconnected than ever. Not connected, disconnected. You
Yeah.
may think you're connected because of the internet, because of your smartphone, and because of this, not. But no, you're more disconnected. Now friends get together and they went to visit their friends and they're sitting in a room and they're all on their damn smartphones and silent. That's not connected. That
Yeah.
is disconnected.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, the video you're talking about is a Daisy Cousins video, and I was over there having my say in the comments section. But women get 70 to 80% sentencing discount only when they're actually prosecuted. I mean, nine
Yeah,
times out of 10, they're not even prosecuted for,
no,
for,
they
for
take
blatant crimes.
the
Not even prosecuted.
prosecutors won't even touch it.
Yeah.
No, we'll let this one go. Okay. And that's been going on for years. It's just like when it comes to pedophilia, it's always the guy, it's always the guy, it's always the guy, it's always the because women, well, they're loving and nourishing. At one time I was sarcastic and says, yes, sirree. The guys are having sex with the children and the women are killing their children.
Yeah.
Okay. And in reality, when a woman's a pedophile and having fun with the children, then the judges say, well, he should feel lucky. How lucky that boy was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
how could you complain? You know how lucky he was to be molested and raped by this female?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it's the other way around, what do we hear? The monster, kill him, lock him up. See, here you are again. What are we looking at here? Fucking complete damn insanity is what we're looking at.
Yeah. And as I said back in the day, I was saying, okay, gentlemen, if you want to fix this situation, you have to have new courts. The next thing you have to do is you have to be prepared to sit on a jury, fairly and justly judge a
Yep.
man or a woman brought before you, give the same punishment for the same crime. And if you're not, back in the day, I was saying, if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to sit on a jury and be paid for it, if you're not willing to do that, don't complain about what comes next, because what comes next is men start dispensing summary justice. That's what comes next.
Yeah, it's
The,
called,
the only thing
you
that
have to do what you have
keeps
to do.
Yeah, the only thing that keeps civilization civilized is men have an option for a community supported way of dealing with the crimes that are committed against them. And that community supported way of dealing with crimes moderates the man's reaction to the extent of, okay, I won't go and dispense summary justice myself. I'm going to get justice through a community supported process, which is now the jury trial, right? You take that away, and men go, okay, well, I guess I have to go back to the old way of dispensing justice around here, right? We declare war and we fight a war. And declaring war and fighting war, well, that's been going on forever, right? The jury trial
Well, it
is
might as
more.
well be. Well, let's look at the reality. Is first off, as long as you don't care how you treat others, and everything's a fucking game to you, and you have no care for other people other than your own selfish want, and you're going to sit back and allow this type of behavior to continue to go on and keep placing your opposite gender above your own self and throwing everybody your own gender under the bus because you're busy pampering and spoiling and creating your next narcissist, psychopathic, entitlement issues female that you created through
Yeah,
your spoiling and pampering and not making them accountable for anything. I don't feel sorry for you for what's happened to you, but when it came to men going their own way, the reality is MGTOW stood for exactly what it was, walking away from women. Okay? But you want to brag, well, MGTOW went mainstream. And Peter Nolan might cause the FBI or the local law enforcement to come down on us fraudulent pretend MGTOWers.
yeah.
And I
That
know
was a
you
good one.
hate me when I say fraudulent pretend, but it's the truth. You're not going your own way. You never have been.
Many of them are not. No, that's right.
No, I see it. Steve and I pissed him off because we tell him I would have to say 80 to 90% of MGTOW are TFLers in denial, and
Yeah,
the
I've
and the
seen
other,
Steve and you say that. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
the other percentage would be if they're not fraudulent chasing and jumping all the hoops to put their dick in a hole. Okay, they would be real MGTOWers. Like if Peter Nolan walked away from women and he chose to be MGTOW, he would be a real MGTOWer. Because see, he has a background with a woman who done everything that would cause a man to walk away from women. So he would actually be the real definition of MGTOW. But there's somebody out here that says he's not a MGTOWer because he doxed. Hold on, because he doxed. But you didn't stop to think about when he tried to reach out and help you guys and a woman done something, what did you do? Oh, you just sat back and enjoyed the show and watched them jump all over him. And if he asked for your support, you went like this to him.
pretty
Well,
much.
but he docks children too. Oh, but when she brainwashes the child against their own dad, what did you do about that? That's right. Zipped your mouth, turned your head, ignored it, blew it off. Okay. So if Peter doxed everybody that was doing something wrong, including the whole family, hey, what can I say?
Yep, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen some more. And people, what's going to happen also is people getting doxxed are going to be put in harm's way. There'll be some people who get doxxed who get hurt.
Hey, Peter, Peter knows me. I made a statement many years back and I told people straight to their face, you have it down to an art. You have figured out the perfect way to create your very own killer.
Yeah, and it's happening more. It's
Yeah,
happening more.
I even
There's
did a series of videos called It Happened Again.
yeah, yeah. You were running a whole video series. Oh, well, that's like 2011 or something. You ran
Yeah,
creating your own killer. It was before we did the radio show together in 2012.
yeah.
And but now there's a guy RPM doing a thing called Hockey Mask Time, where he's just getting articles and about guys killing people, and more frequently now it's the son killing the mother, right? The single mother has had a baby, in her 40s. The typical scenario is the single mother has selfishly had a baby in her 40s because, I haven't had a baby yet, and I've got to have a baby with my old dried up eggs. And the boy has difficulties and problems, and then manages to kill the mother when he's a teenager or a young adult. There's been a couple of those stories in recent times, and it's just like, yeah, not only are you creating your own killer out of your husbands, and we've got record numbers of men killing their wives and children in divorce. Some of them are actually literally creating their own killers from their sons, and
They are.
it's
They
way
are.
over the top now.
It's
And
it's it's out of control.
yeah,
People,
you made your series like 2011 or something. I think that was.
yeah, it was in around that area.
And that's like now that's 8 years ago. You were standing up and saying, "Ladies, you're creating your own killers. They're going to come after you again," and that's what got you fired from your job. And
Yeah, it was that, and then a little
that
bit more.
that and the rest
That
of
was a
the
little bit deeper because
well, there was
I talk about where the root cause of our problems came from.
yeah
So
yeah
NWO.
yeah
People don't want to recognize it's the real truth. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. It is the real truth. Do you think it's an accident that the court systems did what they do to Peter? Or the court systems or no fault divorce does what the people in the United States? No, that's all part of NWO. That's
Yeah.
divide and conquer.
Yeah, it's all planned out. It was planned out years ago. I mean, I the original planning of the no fault divorce thing was done in the late 90s. It was in Russia, and it was done in 1917 in Russia. The communists implemented no fault divorce in 1917.
Yeah.
Then it was transferred into the West, and then it was made mandatory through the United Nations in the 1974 population control meeting in Bucharest in Romania. And you're like, and I've read the minutes of the messages that went out to all the UN countries from 1974, and it said that all United Nations countries must ensure equal participation of women in the workplace. And the
Yeah.
only way to ensure equal participation of women in the workplace is to break up the family unit. And that's why so many countries implemented the massive changes in family law right after 1974. In Australia, it was 1975.
And
And
yeah, everything Peter
that's
said.
why,
If you people would educate yourselves, I've tried to tell you the root cause. It's just like in the manosphere. What are y'all doing? You're attacking one another. You're pointing your fingers at each other. You're calling somebody else the villain or your enemy when you don't even know who your enemy is because your enemy is the power to be at the top who has done this to all of us through social engineering and laws and courts and media. I mean, the male bashing it's
it's
out of
endless.
control. Yeah. It's the male
Yeah.
bashing just is completely endless. Okay. And nobody sees a problem with male bashing at all. Well, but if you speak up and call out a corrupt woman, you misogynist, you woman hater, you this, you that. I mean, you'll be like what Jerry did. I had mental problems at this time in my life. And at this time in my life, I was a woman hater
Hmm.
because somehow Hillary Clinton's not a woman. Nancy Pelosi's not a woman. Because somehow in Jerry's deluded mind, you can attack them women, but you can't attack this woman who's a nobody, who's shitting on everybody because you're a woman hater, because you're a misogynist, because you have mental issues. And, but what Jerry never understood is I've been told I'm a woman hater for, 12 years? Off and
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a woman hater at all. You know what I hate? Same thing Peter hates: corruption.
Yeah. Just crimes, criminal abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if at the end of the day, if you criminally abuse men for long enough, they will. Some of us will have the backbone to fight back.
Yep. And
Simple as
so,
that.
Peter, so you doxed the whole family, huh?
Yeah, terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
A guy publicly called me a pedophile, and then wouldn't pay up.
Oh, he called you a pedophile publicly.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
he have any proof?
yeah. Of course not.
Well,
Yeah,
that's right. You see, in today's society, you don't have to have proof, right?
yeah. You just have to make the allegation,
All you
and
got to do is reach up all the way up your anal and stick the turd in your mouth and spit it out, right?
yeah, that's about it. So I noticed that. I mean, all these guys who are giving me a hard time trying to criticize me, none of them were concerned about me being called a pedophile. None of them were concerned about me being jailed. None of them were concerned about being slandered and having my ability to earn my income destroyed. None of them concerned about my house being stolen. None of them done a video about my courtroom video to describe what was done, etc., etc.
Right.
None of those things.
No,
None of
no,
those
no,
things are worth
no,
a video, right?
because somebody pulled a turd out their butt and stuck it in their mouth and spit it out. What they did is sat back and said, "Oh, he's a pedophile." Well, I got proof. Where's your proof? I seen that turd that come out that guy's mouth. Because I didn't look into it. Oh, no, I'm not looking into anything. I'm too busy for that.
Yeah,
So
I'm
how do
too
you know
busy.
it? Yeah, how do you know it happened? Well, because somebody told me so.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's
So,
exactly it. But
so
where
at
were
the end,
you? Why didn't you side with him? Why didn't you stick up for what was right? What if you was called a pedophile and you knew you wasn't? What if you was accused of murdering somebody or raping some woman and you know you didn't? And you know you didn't, and all of your friends who know you didn't, they're gonna shut up, zip their mouth, not stand up for you, not come to your defense, and just watch you lose your house, go to jail, watch your life be destroyed. You know why you done that? Because you're his friend, right?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
with
they're my
friends
friends.
like
They're
yeah,
my
with
friends.
with friends like that, you don't need enemies, do you?
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting stories you've heard it, but your viewers might not have. One of the interesting stories is back in February 2008, when my wife is making all these false allegations, etc. Right, and I gave my father a copy of these false allegations. I gave him her affidavits, right, to go read if he wanted to. And I gave the affidavits to her father and to her two adult children as well. Said, this is what Jennifer is saying about me. These are lies. This is perjury, and she needs to be prosecuted for this, right? So anyhow, my father was standing in the living room, standing in the lounge room of our house, and my own father says to me, "You just have to tolerate these crimes Jennifer is committing." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah. If you don't tolerate them, you won't have any friends." And I said back to him, right, like just like a foot apart, said back to him right to his face, any person who condones these crimes of Jennifer is not my friend, and I want nothing to do with any such person. And that really shook him up because in the end, that turned out to be him too, right? And people say, well, why don't you remain friends like your brothers and your best mates and all these people you grew up with? Why didn't you remain friends with them? Well, they're not my friends. Like friends
Yeah,
don't allow crimes to be committed against their friends. They stand up and say, "No,
yeah.
that's a crime. That's not okay."
No, you can't call yourself somebody's friend if you're going to sit back and let crimes be committed against somebody who's your friend when you know they're innocent, and you're going to sit back and not stick up for your friend who you know is innocent, and while you're calling him your friend, and
Yeah,
then when he strikes back because you was nowhere to be found, and he had fucking become what, Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris rolled into one and fend off all of his enemies fighting him while you supposedly was his friend. Where were you? Oh, I was shivering in my shoes, hiding over in the corner, or I just knew what they said was true because you have no evidence, right? See, you're not his friend. With friends like you don't need you don't need enemies when you got friends, right?
yeah, that's right. So that's, I mean, I disowned my former children. I severed all my relationships with anybody who was my quote friend, family member who wasn't prepared to stand up and say, that's wrong. This is not okay. I severed all those relationships. Now they're like, oh, well, that's really terrible. You severed those relationships. Really? That's terrible? The perjury wasn't the bad bit? The, the abusing the children wasn't the bad bit? The stealing my house wasn't the bad bit? The slandering and lying about me all these years wasn't the bad bit? The bad bit was I want nothing to do with these people. That's the bit that you're going to talk about, right?
Well, yeah, they're not
Okay.
going to. They don't care about every crime that was committed against you. You know why? Because it wasn't committed against them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have what you know. What they just the one thing that I would agree with Mark Passio and David Icke both. You know, first off, you got to be able to recognize right from wrong. Second off, you got to be able to care, care, real care for somebody you don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay? Until you can do them things, you will never do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's
you
right.
know, do unto one as you want done unto yourself. You get mad because Peeler done something you don't think he should have done, but you don't think about any of your actions to what you do unto him. You don't think about where were you when he was being attacked, and you sat back and zipped your mouth and allowed it to happen.
Yeah. That's right. And it's been 11 years, right? It's not been like yesterday.
Exactly.
I first went public in June 2008. So that's near enough 11 years. Next month, it'll be 11 years, right?
Yeah, it will be. And you know,
Yeah.
and it's sad that we've had to go down this road, but I'll tell you what, I'm still here. I haven't gone nowhere yet. When I do go somewhere, it'll probably be to that other side of that dimension or whatever. I mean, don't let me be reincarnated back here again, please. Okay, but you know, I digress.
Yeah, you and I are both at an age now. It's like, yeah, we've lived our lives. It's been a good life, and that's great. And we're living out our days in some relative peace now.
Yeah,
Living our days
you
in
know,
some relative peace.
and for you fraudulent MGTOWers, I hate to say it because that is the majority of MGTOWers, frauds, fakes, phonies. You're either TFL or in denial, or you're just using it as a cover story for your own little publicity scene or whatever. And maybe you might be worried about losing your channel and losing your subscribers, and you know, and you might be worried about that, right? And you wouldn't want to have all that happen to you. But if you haven't never lost your channel or your subscribers, obviously whatever you've been doing ain't been worth a shit. Because anybody that's telling the truth has lost a bunch of channels, has been attacked over and over. So for you not to lose a channel and you to have a whole bunch of subscribers, you're either one, an agent working for the system, or you're just a complete dumbass spilling the propaganda out your mouth that the system wants you to spill out your mouth, and that's why you're left alone to begin with. That's why you're allowed to grow.
Yeah, I mean, if how many? I don't know how many channels you've had taken down, but I've had
Yeah.
6. Right?
Yes.
You've had a bunch of channels taken down. If you're saying anything significant, they take your channel down.
They
That's how
take your
that works.
channels down. You know, the crux of it is when you start digging into the political end of this and you work your way to the top, figuring out where all this comes from, they don't like that. You get attacked for that.
Oh
When
yeah,
you get MGTOWers worried about, oh, but the FBI and the police might come after MGTOW, you're just showing how asleep, how unaware of reality you are. I don't care if I was in the military. Also, you was a pawn. I understand. You was a pawn on the chessboard. And I mean, was it Rockefeller or Kissinger who made the statement, military is useful. They're useful idiots for our political gain. They're pawns.
yeah,
We don't
yeah,
care about you. You're a useful idiot. We put you and tell you, become a man and go in the military, right? Well, let me ask you a question to all you military guys who became a man. So since when is becoming a man following the orders from some corrupt politician and going overseas and shooting and killing and terrorizing people that's never done nothing to you or to anybody? How is that the definition of becoming a man? Please explain yourself to me, will you, child?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on now. I mean, it's become so transparent of late with, the two Iraq wars, Afghanistan and Syria and all the rest of it. It's just so blatantly clear that the US military is just out there to further the political agenda. Hard to believe anybody believes anything different now. Now the
For
young guys are
years
being
after
lied to.
years, Peter, I done all this research and found my way up and found where TFL come from and the dating scene and the court system. And I've done all this research for all these years on NWO and the dating scene and NWO and the dating scene. And I totally understand it. But there's one guy I didn't watch for years just because it was way out there, and that was David Icke. Alex
Yeah,
Jones, I saw through years ago, the guy's CIA plant, chill, piece of crap, right? But David Icke, I never went near. Okay? Mark Passio caught my attention because he was the first man that actually talked about the war on men and women
yeah,
outside of what he's so. And he reminds me of me, Mark Passio does. He's so blatantly honest, he's straightforward, and he's right to the point. And he don't give a fuck what you think, just like me or like Peter, right? So
yeah,
I like Mark Passio. He reminds me of me. But Mark Passio was saying putting David Icke in a good light. Now I suspected David Icke's a shield, but I thought like all shields, they tell friggin' what 80% truth, maybe 20% propaganda. So I started, okay, let me go listening to some of David Icke. So I wound up spending 2 weeks or more, hours and hours and hours. And by God, I got new lightning because I can see through bullshit, smell bullshit, and I caught him only in a couple points of bullshit in all these hours. But my God, that guy has told so much truth.
yeah.
So much truth.
A lot of it's true.
I know it is. You know,
A lot of it's true.
even the alien thing they think ain't.
Mm.
I can guarantee it probably pretty much is true. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm aware that there are beings here that are not human that are intelligent, right? I've known
Yeah.
that since I was 16.
Well, the common sense denominator I told people is this: let's use common sense. You live on a planet that, by the way, it's not flat.
Mm.
And yes, there are other galaxies. Okay. Now I'm going to get that out of there so we don't get the flatheads coming along. Okay. But anyhow, you live on a planet, and if you look around you now, you got zoos, you got insects, you got animals, you got all kinds of animals of different life forms, don't you? Okay. Then you can't even go into a river or a lake or an ocean without another life form. What the hell makes you think there would be no other life form?
Yeah. What would make you think that in the entire galaxy there aren't other life forms? There's other things around. There's other things around. We shall see. But you okay?
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah. But they've
back in my
people have had the legends of angels and voices and things like that all through human history. These legends have been around. And the reason these legends have been around is because this stuff is happening. These beings are out there, and some of them are controlling the place.
Yeah.
Basically, what's going on? We're zoo animals.
Well, I think what David Icke said about going up the pyramid,
Mm,
at the top of the pyramid, now wouldn't it be funny if at the top of the pyramid was an alien, another life form controlling the humans?
yeah, yeah,
I think about all the underground cities we've been building, and I'm thinking, so we got all this advancement in technology, and we've been building underground places, big city like underground for years now. So why would we need all that? maybe underneath our feet are the very people that we claim don't exist.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more going on than what we know about,
Yeah,
or that's what's publicly known about. And
exactly,
I,
exactly.
and I went into all that in 2008, 2009, etc. And there are some bits and pieces which are exaggerated, but there's a lot of it that's true.
Yeah,
And the bit that shocked me the most was Lloyd Pye's "Everything You Know Is Wrong," and I had to go back through medical journals and things like that to go look into what was it he was saying, etc. And Lloyd Pye hit the nail on the head, basically. And so, but most people don't want to know about that stuff. Most people don't want to talk about it,
well,
and and
that's the
most people
thing.
don't get the implications.
No, that's the thing. When you don't want to know about something, especially like, okay, let's just go with the dating arena. Okay, let's just go with the dating arena itself. You got all these men out here that want to complain about the women's behavior. And I've said it 1,000 times to you, the behavior of women and men alike has been socially engineered with
Yeah,
programming to women on one side and men on the other side. And then through men's ignorance and dumbness, you only help to make that programming worse by placing women above yourself.
yep. By pandering to them, putting them on a pedestal.
Exactly. Now you're over here complaining about it, but you're still not willing to step up to the plate and do the right thing because you're worried about, oh, you won't fit in. Somebody might call you a name. Somebody may not like you. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what you're worried about. Or I might lose some subscribers. Or you got everything ass backwards. Or I guess you're gonna do like I've been told this 100 times too. Even Jerry said it. You're gonna run all the women off. I says, awesome. You mean I'm gonna run the corruption off? And I know you may think that, well, no, ain't no. The fact is the only women that are gonna run off from what I'm saying are the ones I wouldn't want anything to do with anyhow.
yeah, that's right. The I mean the This particular woman involved in this discussion, Georgia Fruit, she came out onto YouTube and she started her YouTube channel, had MGTOW in her mouth within a couple of videos. I found her, and now I went and talked to her because she's in Australia. I went and talked to her about the divorce courts. I gave her all the information and said, "What are you going to do? You're 27 years old." Uh, and I already knew she was husband hunting. You're 27 years old. You're a graduate in medicine. You want to be a doctor, and now you're realizing that you've missed your prime, and now you're going to look for a man. Meanwhile, these divorce courts are criminally victimizing the man that you want to look for. So where you need to start, Georgia Frew, is denouncing these divorce courts. It's where you need to start. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So she wouldn't say anything,
Oh,
nothing about the divorce courts.
no, no,
And
no, no. Sit
now
back
that she's
and shut her
been,
mouth about it.
yeah,
Allow it to flourish.
yeah. Now she's been out for like 6 or 12 months or however long she's been out. Now the topic of her channel has turned right around to I need to nail myself some sucker so I can get a couple of pups from him and rape him in the exact same divorce courts that I'm not prepared to denounce. It's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah,
Ukrainian, another one, Ukrainian lens is doing exactly the same thing.
because she saw an opportunity to make a bucket for herself.
Yeah,
It's like right under everybody's nose. Men's right activists, phony baloney motherfuckers. Okay. Problem,
yeah,
reaction, solution right in your face right there, okay?
yeah.
Phony Paul Elam, the agent, who handed it over to feminist women.
Yeah. I mean, I called Paul Ill of an agent very early on. And then what does he do? What does he do? Makes Karen Strawn the most famous MRA. Well done, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. So now here's Karen Strong, who, by the way, she's not here for your rights. She don't give a fuck about your rights. And for all of you suckers who think that she's fighting for your rights, then why don't you ask her when's the last time her and her female clan who are now running together. Okay, why ain't they down there picketing Hollywood about all the male bashing on Lifetime Network? I mean, the man hating channel.
Mm.
Okay, why ain't you down there male bashing about your commercials and sitcoms and all the male shaming going on? Oh, that's right, because you'll care about that. As
Yeah,
long
that's
as
not an
you can
issue.
pull the wool over the guy's eyes and he don't see that you're here not for him, but you're here to keep your pedestal and line your pockets with money, and that's all you're there for.
Yeah. I mean, I denounced Karen Strawn as early as April 2012
Yeah.
in my second book. I said, this woman's just here for the money. She's not here to help us. Because the instant Karen Strawn showed up, I went and talked to her and said, Do you want to read the documentation of my case? Do you want to watch this video? Do you want to learn about what's really going on? No, I don't want to know about any of that. Well, there's a
No.
reason why she doesn't want to know about any of that, because it's not necessary to know about any of that in order for her to make money.
Oh, you know what I nailed her with? I
What's that?
says, same thing I did Paul Elam. I says, you're doing a great job of talking about symptoms. Now let's talk about where the root cause came from. Because you can't fix the problem if you don't go after the root cause. Chasing symptoms don't fix a problem. If you was a technician and you were going to repair something, you can go by a symptom, but you got to find the root cause to fix it. If you don't
Yeah,
find the root cause, you will never fix it, right? So I bring up the root cause, and the minute you do that, she did the same thing Poylan did.
zip. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't want to talk about that because I might get my channel taken down. Yeah, you might,
Exactly.
right?
You
Is
might,
that
because then you might be telling some truth.
yeah? If you actually start opposing our friends and colleagues in the Committee of 300, then they will shut you down. They will attack you. They will destroy your life. But nowadays, I mean, my own opinion is that things have moved along so far that there's just no way to stop them anymore. They've got their plans. Sorry, there's a siren going past, but they've got their
I was
plans
going
worked
after
out.
Karen anyhow.
Yeah, they've got their plans worked out. They've got their depopulation program moving forward through mass immigration. They're going to cause civil unrest, and that is well underway. That plan now. There's no stopping
Uh,
that going on.
you're not going to stop it from going on. And the sad thing is for all of you men in the manosphere who are mad at Peter for doxing a family, you need to back up and think about where were you every time he was accused of BS that you wouldn't stand by him for. You was never there for him, and he's been there for you, but you're not there for him no more than you are me, because you're only here for your own selfish gain. You won't even take time out of your busy schedule to look for the real truth to why what's going on in this world is. So you don't know who your real enemy is anyhow, because you won't look.
Hmm.
And since you won't look to know who your real enemy is, you're the perfect suckers.
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, when in doubt's got it all worked out. He knows that men going their own way don't exist because it's not about going your own way, it's about taking your own path. And his path is he's promoting sex dolls and sex bots to replace the female gender. So what he's actually doing is going right along with the globalists. He's holding hands with them, sucker, walking down the road with them, and he's going to replace these women with a sex bot. The worst I've seen, Peter, this is going to make you laugh. This guy I thought was pretty intelligent from his speech and the way he was talking. Okay. He's MGTOW on steroids. He's in the United Kingdom. And he seemed to be pretty intelligent. And then on his one video, I thought, maybe you're not as intelligent as I thought you was after all. And the reason I thought that was because of what I'm about to tell you. He can't wait for a sex bot with AI in it because now he will finally have his own paternity rights. As his sex bot is going to get pregnant with his kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm sorry. I used to think you were intelligent. How the hell do you think you're getting a fucking robot pregnant? How do you think it's going to produce? And that would be against what NWO wants anyhow. Don't you
Yeah.
understand that NWO is the reason that you're in this problem? And don't you know that them sex bots are because they want population reduction? They're not going to make them be able to give you a baby. And they want population reduction and they want to break up the family, which they've already done. And they want to do away with genders completely.
Yeah. Uh, Population reduction is number one item on their agenda. Number
Yes,
one item. And my own personal view now is that that's a really good idea. The way that people treat each other, many people in the world not being in it would make it better. that's my
well,
that's my view.
you know what, Peter? I still have to go back in my head and say, let the bombs fall.
Yeah, yeah,
And I hate to be that way, but what Peter just said, I can understand. I can understand even with Warren when he says, "Give me my sex bot." Okay, I can understand the frustration. When you look at the reality, people don't know how to treat each other anyhow.
yeah,
Okay, and all they want is trouble, trauma, trouble, drama, trouble, drama. Okay, to treat somebody else the exact way they don't want to be done themselves. And then when you do back to them what they do to you, oh, they're furious. They're ready to go to blows. Okay. But
yeah,
they couldn't get that through their fucking noodle that you're doing this to somebody else and expecting no repercussions. As I said, man, you figured out how to create your own killers a long time ago because you are that dumb.
yeah. To stand by and do nothing while all this stuff has been going on is just as culpable as joining in. That's how it is.
Yes.
If you see crimes being committed, you see stuff happening, and you say and do nothing, that's consenting, that's agreeing, and you're just as guilty as the people committing the crimes.
That's
My
exactly it.
my view, right?
So,
Now,
now I may have pissed a few people off, maybe over there on the MGTOW side today. Maybe somebody named Mike the MGTOW monk. He might be, and I don't know where he gets his monk from outside of being a monkey. Okay. But I don't care if you want to call yourself a monk. I don't care if you want to call yourself MGTOW. In the manosphere, whether you're forever alone, TFL, incel, MGTOW, it doesn't matter. All the problems that all of you different groups are bitching about are all one and the same common denominator. It doesn't matter what group you're in that big circle, because all your problems came from this spot up here where I've been telling you and screaming at you for years.
yep,
None of you want to look. You just all want to keep pointing fingers at each other. Now you're going to attack Peter because he doxed the family. Well, meanwhile, you're just as guilty for being just as stupid yourself and treating other people. Now you claim, Mike would tell me he don't believe in violence. I agree with that. That you shouldn't be doing violence onto others unless somebody provokes it onto you. Then what happens is how it happens, okay? I can agree with that. But unfortunately, outside of not agreeing with violence, are you looking at how you're treating other people? Are you looking at how your good buddy, when in doubt, because that seems to be Mike's best friend over there, when in doubt, okay? Since you two seem to be on a personal level really good friends, you now know that when I said I know Peter, I wasn't bullshitting you, okay? As you see right there, okay? But when in doubt, and Mike are good buddies, but you're both sound asleep to what's really going on or who your real enemy is. And you're both going down that path of, and I don't care, Mike likes to brag how he's in the military and he's this and this and this. And as far as I'm concerned, when you tell me you're in the military, so let's see, you went to school and you got dumbed down. Then you went to the military and got furtherly brain raped into a slave.
yep, pretty much.
That's really what you done. And now You went out there and followed your orders like a good little fucking patsy, little slave. Okay. You don't even know who your real enemy is. You're
Yeah.
worried about your freaking channel. You're worried about your subscribers. You wouldn't have the subscribers list you have if you was actually telling real truth.
Yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
Because
Now,
the
you
only
want to,
people that'll get the big subscribers list that you see that are telling anything are people that are telling what the agenda is for, going along with it, okay, or agents that are working for the system. Anybody else that comes up and tells the truth that's fighting for what's right for everybody, that's not allowed. You're taken out.
yeah, they'll take your channel down. I like you and I were quite severely persecuted. They'll persecute you until you shut up, or until you decide. In
They
my
hold your
case,
numbers down. You know, they've been doing that to me for years now. They
yeah,
take these channels down, they hold my numbers down. If I get 3 or 4 subscribers, they'll take them away right away and freeze my subscribers to where it's at. I've even watched my views go backwards.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They do all that shit.
So, I mean, you know, the censorship is just right on top of me like rice on the water.
Mm.
And if they could get something on me, they will. I mean, I'm used to it. I don't go away because I like to be the bad penny that keeps sticking in there, you know what? Okay. And I don't mind being their bad penny because I'm not like a lot of you people. I don't care if you kill me.
Mm.
I really don't. You can't scare me with death because I'm already in my last years anyhow. So what are you going to scare me with? You might kill me. So what? I ain't got long left on this earth anyhow. See this? I
Yeah,
hope that I was telling Kevin this. It says we're talking about afterlife and death and spirits and ghosts and reincarnation and the aliens and like Kevin says, we know, man, aliens may be our creators. That may be our God. Okay? Which could be true. We don't know. Can't say, right? It's all skeptical,
mm.
right? And I says, well, if I have to be reincarnated back here, I don't want that. He says, I want to be reincarnated to another planet. And I says, I'd have to know what that planet was like before going there. Because I could wind up right back in the same situation, just a different planet. I said, so if nothing else, maybe I could just stay a ghost. I wouldn't mind roaming around here as a ghost. I could visit all you elite properties and maybe make your life a little bit of hell.
Make it a little bit more difficult. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I might have fun doing that.
yeah. I mean, in the end, for my part, I was very active from 2008 to 2014, and you get very little help. So in the end, I just said, okay, well, it's done now. There's no stopping these guys. I'm going to go off and live the remainder of my days in some comfort, which is what I'm attempting to do. I'll see how many days I get.
Well, you know,
Right?
Peter does what Peter's got to do, and that's the way I feel about that. And I don't bother Peter; he don't bother me. And we do like to talk now and again. We get together and we chat him up. And I
Yes.
like Peter, and I don't care what other people say. I understand Peter from an aspect that most of you idiots over there don't. You may be mad at Peter for doxing somebody in our whole family, but I'm sure he just didn't pull it out of his ass to dox him. I'm sure something happened that led to him doing this.
Yep. And it's all in my. I have a. Well, probably by now it's gone out on my channel, so I have a longer explanation of all that. But yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, men have been attacked for a very long time. All the other men have sat around and done very little about it, and some men are going to fight back, and we're going to fight back in our own way, and as we see best fit to
Yeah,
fight back, and that's it. And if people don't like that, as you pointed out, the question is, well, where were you during these years and years and years where all these men were being criminally victimized, many of them whom committed suicide? Where were you? What were you doing? Right? And
hmm
the answer for most men was, I was chasing skirts around. That's what I was doing. I was
yeah.
chasing
You want
women
to be in
around.
the video? There you are. There you are. You're in the video now. There you are. Okay. Okay, I love you too. Okay. Now you can get off my lap. You had
Well,
your
that's
part.
realistically, that's what most men were doing. They're around chasing women. Roosh is a good example where he was around chasing women, and just really recently, Roosh has started come to the conclusion, oh, things are a lot worse than what I thought they were. It's like, yeah, no shit, Roosh, you finally figured
Yeah,
that out.
it's not hard to figure out. People just I mean, you said it very accurate earlier yourself, Peter. They don't want to know.
No, they don't want to know. There's too much. It's too upsetting and aggravating to actually find out the truth for most men.
Oh yeah, it bothers them so bad to find out the real truth. So I would rather not know the truth, so I can whine and cry when I'm taking it up to you know what,
Pretty
and
much.
scream, "Oh, help me! Stop this from happening!" No, we
Yeah.
tried to get you on board so that we could rise together as one because they get their power from us listening to begin with.
Yeah.
But you don't want to come together as one because you'd rather stick Joe and stab John and beat Peter and do this and do that. You like your drama, you like your division. You don't like to stand for what's right. And if Peter doxed the whole family, oh, but the children too. Well, when the woman turned his children against him and lied to them children, destroyed his relationship and life with his own children, his own blood, and none of you guys give a flying fuck because it wasn't you,
Yeah. No one said anything about
then
that.
yeah. So why would I, other than do is show you this? I can understand how Peter feels. Why would he care? Why should he care? Did you care? See, he actually started fighting back is what happened, and you're not used to somebody that stands up for themselves. You're not used to somebody who might fight back. Okay?
Yeah, that's
You
right.
don't want to fight back. Oh no, this guy's fighting back. What is that, a foreign concept to you?
Yeah, it is. It is to most guys. The idea that a man is actually going to fight back. Oh no, we don't want to fight back. We just want to. We just want to walk. A lot of the MGTOW thing is we just want to walk off the plantation, go over here and be private by ourselves and have nobody bother us. That's not gonna. That's not actually what's going to happen, right? When the
That's an
government needs the
illusion.
money, they'll come and take it.
That's an illusion. That's a mirage. You
Yeah,
know, even Mark Passy will tell you it's nice if you could just be left alone. But you cannot live your life and be left alone because you've allowed a criminal entity to control you. Taxation is theft. No lie, that's theft. Okay?
yeah,
Everything around you is being controlled and theft, and you can't live your life and be left alone because some thug wearing a badge, an order follower with bubble gums on their car is going to come into your life and intrude and try to rape you and steal money from you or lock you up and throw you in a cage because maybe you put something in your body that they decided that they owned your body and you wasn't allowed to put in your body
yeah,
because they told you so. I mean, you want to live as a slave and claim you're free, which is a complete utter joke. I steer people towards Mark Passio. I'm steering them to David Icke. Okay, because you need to get your head out of your ass.
yeah,
You need to realize what's really going on and understand who your real enemy is. Whether you don't want to or not, you need to do that because if you don't, you ain't walking off the plantation and living your own thingy over here because you are the next Waco and you don't even know you are. I listened to a MGTOW live stream and this guy was, what, 54, 55 years old? And he's he's sort of totally asleep, but he says he did hit the nail on the head. I suspect he says that we have government involvement, right, with what's going on in the dating arena. He says, however, I can't prove it. Okay, and then,
really?
yeah, I know. And then he turns around and says, but there's nothing we can do about it anyhow because it's too big. So we just need to stay in our own group, stay quiet, don't talk about it. Shh. Don't tell anybody what's going on, Peter. Okay? And go over there in
Yeah,
your little plantation by yourself, what Peter just talked about. So how do you
yeah.
think that's going to work out for him?
It's not looking good.
I think
Not
it's going to
looking good.
be he's jumping himself up to Waco's what he's done, and he don't even know it. Or,
Yeah.
our Ruby Ridge, because the situation is simple. It's no accident. And I don't care where in the world you're living, you all forget something. Even in that little short health crisis thing, what did that gal say? The guy brought up when the government, and then the gal turns around and says, we're waiting for international leaders to come along. And she made sure and said international. What part of don't you understand that it's not an accident that Australia is having the same problem that UK's having, that Russia's having, that China's having, that America's having? What part of that can't you figure out?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's very obvious now. It wasn't so obvious in the early 2000s, but it's
Yeah,
pretty obvious now. And there's enough information out there now. Back in 2008, it was fairly hard to find out what was going on. You had to actually spend some time
you had to
going and doing
dig.
your research, right?
Yeah, exactly. When I first come on here, I had to dig to find.
Yeah, yeah,
Now it's to a point I could go dig for the stuff I pulled then, and it's not findable because they're scrubbing the net.
yeah. That's all gone. All that old stuff is gone.
They're
But
scrubbing it. They don't want people finding it.
yeah, but nowadays, my view of it is they just don't care. I mean, everything's so in your face now.
Oh,
It's
it
like
is. It's,
they just don't
well,
care whether you know or not because there's nothing you can do about it.
it had to come to a point where people were going to see it anyhow. Because how
Yep.
could they ever bring it in if they
Yeah.
kept it hidden?
Yeah. And now the thing that I look at now is the whole mass immigration thing. And I mean, that's hardly a secret, right?
Oh,
it,
Georgie boy.
it's hardly a secret that they're bringing very large numbers of immigrants into the Western world. And it's hardly a secret that that's going to cause civil unrest. I mean,
Well,
really,
it's
that's just not a
deliberately
secret.
done. That's why I laugh when I see all this going on. To get it through people's heads, they think that these migrants are escaping their country from Mexico. And this one lady and her family supposedly, oh, poor her, she was barefooted and so was her kids because they were so broke. And they walked all these miles to get to across the border. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
First off, they collected a whole bunch of money from Georgie boy.
Mm.
Second off, that's the lie they told you. Third off, they were bused to the other side of the wall and let off the bus with a handful of money from Georgie boy to come over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
about
mean,
destabilizing this country is what it's about.
yeah, and so you have this stuff going on in the U.S. southern border, but France, I mean, they're up to 28 weeks of the yellow vest thing. You got Germany. I mean, I still talk to my old pals in Germany. They're seriously talking about civil unrest now. The Germans are now. When we try and take these people and send them back, what do we think's going to happen? Right? The Germans are really clear about that now. So
Well, that's why,
you know,
if they listen to hard enough, David Icke even said it. Of course, this is going on because they want open borders. But see, once they get open borders worldwide, where people can be anywhere they want, that's when you're going to find out you can't really be anywhere you want because they're going to lock you down. You can say no because the borders are open. Yeah, they will lock you down. Watch and see. Watch
yeah,
and see. You can say, how will they do that? That's not hard. All they got to do is shut down a trucking system and stop shipping food to this area, that area, and you're going to be forced to have to go to this area.
yeah.
Then
Well,
we shut down cars.
yeah.
We shut
In
down
the end,
transportation.
yeah.
Now, how
In
are
the
you going
end,
to shut down cars, Peter? Well,
sorry.
how are you going to shut down transportation? Simple. Everybody's got cars and they want to do away with cars. Well, how are you going to do it in cars without civil unrest? Just by not shipping gas and by lying to the public and saying we run out the resources.
Yeah, we're out of gas. There you go.
Yeah,
But at
simple.
the end of the day, we're going to have the cashless society,
Which has
and
already started.
you know, if you don't have access to any money, you're not going anywhere, right? That's be the easiest way to stop you from going anywhere. We'll just
Yeah,
empty your bank account. No
like
more
what?
money for you. No more money for you,
Well,
Joe.
when you got cashless society, already started in Sweden. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
pockets of Sweden that are cashless right now. And you
yeah,
think, well, but that's over in Sweden. Give it another 15, 20 years and it'll be worldwide.
yeah, yeah. That's what they're going for. They're going for the cashless society.
And some
And
people are stupid. Even now, they're bragging over there. Oh, it's much better being cashless. You think? You really think? No, actually, it's not. Now you're more under their control than ever. Because
yeah, but
now, if you don't do as they say or think as they tell you to think, they just shut off your fucking chip. It's over with.
yeah. I mean, it shows you how foolish people are. Oh, the government will control our money. Okay, that's fine. The banking system will control our money. Okay, that's fine. Really?
They're not very bright because it's going to come down to a point where they're going to realize it the hard way. Don't do as we say. We shut off your chip. You can't get. Oh, you know what else they're going to do with cashless society? Just so that you know, this will be worldwide, by the way. Bartering will be illegal. There
Yeah,
will be a law against bartering. You
yeah. They'll
won't
make trading illegal.
trade, yes. If you trade this for this much food because they shut your chip off, if you're going to go to jail, and so's the person who traded it because they want you to die from starvation, and by golly, you're going to die from starvation.
Yep. It's going to get nasty. I mean, it's nasty enough now, but it's going to get a lot nastier yet.
It is,
And
you know.
we'll see how many days I get to live out before it gets the nastiness comes here.
Well, I think Peter's right. I mean, Peter's where he's at, and I know he's over there in Australia, or maybe he's in Germany, maybe he's in Russia. Huh? I'll tell you where Peter's at. He's on the planet Earth, and that's
Mm,
for you to figure out. Okay, so, but Peter's going to live his life, and if he's not up here, if he's up here doing something, it's because he wants to do it. Okay, and if you don't see him around, it's because he chose not to be around because he's just living his life.
mm.
Okay, and that's the way it is. I'm still up here. I got nothing better to do. I can't go back to work. So since I can't go back to work, and I was doing this when I was working full time anyhow. I'd come home from
Mm,
working all day long and clean up, get something to eat, and come on here and research and make a video.
mm.
I did this for years. My days off, make 3 or 4 videos, and research and research and research. Take the time, not make any videos, and research, and then make some videos. It's what I've done for years. I'm up here now because I'm still up here. I'll be a thorn in the ass till I die. Okay, and I don't
Yeah,
care. And
yeah.
Peter, I still respect Peter. And you cannot turn me against Peter. I will not side with you because Peter doxed somebody. I don't care if he doxed their children because you don't care when the woman turns the children against you. And most of you men don't want to see that. You don't want to face the reality that you sit back and allow women to steal everything from you, including your kids, lie and turn your children against the father, and you didn't give a flying fuck and you didn't care.
Yeah. They didn't care and they didn't do anything.
No.
And it's happened to millions and millions and millions of men. It's
Yeah.
not it's not like I'm the only man this has ever happened to, right?
And other men throwing other men under the bus and not doing nothing to stick up for another man, like somehow this will never happen to me.
Yeah, not
That's
my
the
cupcake.
mentality you have.
Yeah.
You have the mentality that somehow it won't happen to you. And then
No.
when it does happen to you, you're going to be up there bitching and pissed off and blah, blah, as you should be. But then why would Peter have any respect for you? Because where were you? Oh, I know where you was. You was that guy that said, I don't give a fuck that happened to you. It ain't gonna happen to me. Now it happened to you, and you're going, huh? And you want somebody to be there for you. Well, why would they be there for you? Because you sure the hell wasn't there for them.
Yeah, that's right. They won't do anything. Like just before we finish up, the last time I was down in Wagga in 2009, down in my hometown, um, my auntie, my dad's sister, came over for dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her son is the same age as me, just a few weeks apart, right? So in 2009, I was 45, right?
Right.
So I'm having dinner with my dad and my dad's sister, and she says to me, and she's her son's 45, same as me. Now, her son is not the brightest knife, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a yeah, a little bit below average, and became a truck driver and things like that, right? So when he was little, his dad ran away. Is the story, right? So they grew up as without a father in the house, and so this cousin of mine, call him Fred because I don't want him to name to be out there. So this cousin of mine, he was always really worried that when he finally got married and had a baby, that he would be able to provide for his family, etc. Because his dad ran away, right? So he decided to get married later in life, and what didn't make a lot of money, so it took him longer to save up to get a house and all the rest of it, right? So he's done all that, and then he's gotten married, and he's had a little baby, and he's really happy. Okay, and that was the situation. Oh, then the baby's like 3 years old, and she just decides she doesn't like this guy anymore, and she leaves, and she screws him over for everything, takes a house, takes a kid, all the money, etc. The standard story, right? So I'm sitting there with my auntie and my dad, and my auntie says, "How is this possible that this has happened to my son Fred? How is this possible?" Oh, I blew a freaking gasket, right? Because I'd been doing all this stuff for 2 years. And I said, how this is possible is you women allowed it. You women voted for it. You demanded it. And all the mothers allowed it. I said, Irene Toll, like she lives not far from my mother-in-law, right? I said,
Mm-hmm.
Irene Toll. Jennifer committed perjury against me. They sold my house. That my children have been abused. And the woman responsible, Irene Toll. And you've said and done nothing. And now you're saying, well, how is this happening to my son? It's happening because you said and did nothing. That's why it's happening.
Yeah.
I've been doing something, but you did nothing to defend your son. You know all this is happening, and you did nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
Peter, that's the other thing that's frustrating. How is it these women, by the numbers that they're doing it at, do this to men on a regular basis, and then they have children and they have a boy, and if they're not trying to turn the boy into a girl, as we see going on, the new epidemic,
Yeah.
but how is it that you raise a boy and then somehow you magically think that what you've been doing to men, some other woman ain't going to do to your son?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you're going to be offended by she done that to your son, but yet you're right there willing to do it to another man yourself, and all of your sisterhood that's right there standing by you doing it themselves, and you're all bragging and feeling on your power trips. You got your eagles flying high there, okay?
Yeah.
How
And the
the hell
boys,
is it that you think you can have children and somehow your boy's going to be magically protected from this? What do you think? Your boy's going to be that Chad? I mean,
yeah.
what, have you lost your damn mind?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I do, I'm making videos and putting them out there. And one of the things I do is tell the young men, your mother hates you. Your mother despises you. Your mother has stood by and allowed this to happen for the last 20 years while you were growing up.
Yeah.
And I tell them that, and they stop and they think about it, and they're like, yeah, she has. My mother has never said anything to defend another man's rights and has never done anything to defend my rights. I was watching a video from Milo when he was out in Australia, right? Milo Yiannopoulos. and he was in a thing, and it was just being recorded. And this woman stood up and said, "You know, I'm really concerned about what's happening to men, what women are doing to men." And her question was, "What can I tell my son so he can defend himself when he grows up?" That was her question. What can I tell my son so he can defend himself when he grows up? Not what can I do as a mother to make sure that when my son grows up, his rights are secured. No, it wasn't about her. It was like, can you tell me what I can tell my son so he can protect himself? Because I'm just his mother. It's not my role to protect him, right?
What a
And
joke.
she's prepared to say that in public,
Right. So
right?
so her dunceness, I mean, I don't know if you want to hang the dunce sign on her forehead or her back. Okay. You're his mother. Then first thing I'm gonna say, so where's his dad? Oh, well, I threw him away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's
likely. Yeah,
yeah.
very likely.
Yeah, okay. So I guess that'd be just like with Karen Stroud. I'd say she got children, yeah. So either you're Virgin Karen, which no, you're not, okay? Or where's the dad? Oh, that's right. I know where the dad's at.
She got rid of the dad, right?
Exactly.
She got rid of the father, but she really is for men's rights. She got rid of the father of her children, but
Right.
she
She's for
really
men's
is.
rights, right?
Yeah,
That's why she threw away the guy that was the father of the children because she's all about men's rights, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So,
right.
so when I talk to the young guys, I just say, go and look at what your mother has done. You're now in your 20s. Most of the guys I talk to are in their 20s. So if you're
Right.
in your 20s, go and look at what your mother has done to defend your rights while you were growing up. In fact, go and ask her what she's done. See what she says.
You're gonna
And
find she's really done nothing to defend your rights.
yeah,
And
not a single
you
one
know,
of them.
and for any woman who bitches about you're not doing that to my son, why would the woman not do that to your son? Isn't that what you done to some other woman's son?
Yeah,
And your
isn't
friend
this?
did it to some other woman's son, and on it went.
Yeah, isn't this what you allowed to happen in your society?
Yeah,
Didn't you agree with it and approve it and support it? Didn't you pay taxes so men with guns would go into a man's house and assault him and drag him out and put him in a cage? Didn't you
yeah,
do all that? Oh yeah, I did. I did do all that, but it shouldn't
yeah.
happen to my son. Yeah,
And didn't you steal his money and didn't care if he lived in a cardboard box?
yeah,
Well, yeah, I done that. But it shouldn't happen to my son.
yeah.
Of
That's
course
right.
it should happen to your son. Because you condoned it, you went along with it, and you was filling on board with all your other female buddies while you were all doing it. And all of you simps and vaginas, you sat back and pampered them and put them up there, and you even condoned it.
Yeah, you let
Well,
it happen.
yep, until it happened to you. But then you
Yeah,
whined about it a little bit, and then when real men come along who don't put up with it, that has it happen to them, and they actually fight back, you phony fraudulent men get all mad because you don't understand why Peter, I said a few years when people told me Peter's an angry man. You know how many times I've had that told to me how angry Peter is. And he's not as angry now as he used to be. You think he's angry now, you should have seen him back in 2010, 2011. Okay? You'd have really seen an angry man then.
mm,
But I was never frustrated or angry with Peter for being angry because I totally understood why he was angry. And he had a fucking right to be angry.
yeah. I like how it is that you're angry means we should not do anything about the crimes that you suffered. If you said it to a woman who was raped, if a woman was raped and she was angry at being
And she was
raped,
angry.
and you said, "Well, you're just angry about being raped, so we're not going to prosecute your rapist because you're angry." You have to not be angry before we will prosecute your rapist. Women would be outraged. They'd be angry,
Oh,
right?
they'd be angry and outraged and throwing themselves all over the place, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd
Okay.
be out having tantrums.
If we took Hollywood and went out there and flipped the script and we just spent the next 10 years female shaming, female bashing, women would have nothing to do with it. They'd be on the streets picketing and throwing themselves all over the place. So how come you're a woman that's for men's rights
Yeah,
hasn't picketed Hollywood yet.
How come? How come that not one of them has stood up in the public and said the divorce courts are criminal in nature, and I'm going to do my bit to make sure that women get equal sentencing for their crimes? There hasn't been one woman do that yet.
No, they haven't.
That's what I've been challenging women to do. Like every woman who turns up on the scene, like the Karen Straughns of the world, I say to them, are you prepared to say in your own name, in the public, one, the divorce courts are criminal in nature, and two, I'm going to do my bit to make sure that women get prosecuted for their crimes on an equal before the law basis to men. I will do my bit. There hasn't been one yet. It's been 11 years. There
Uh,
hasn't been one yet.
have you said anything to Sydney yet?
Sydney Watson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, she knows who I am.
Okay, I was just curious because
Yeah,
she's over there doing her thing, you know.
she's well aware of who I am. Daisy Cousins and Sydney Watson know exactly who I am.
And
I mean, I talked to both of those women years and years ago when they first came onto YouTube, and they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to. They don't want to talk. I mean, they're both from Australia. They don't want to talk about the video from inside an Australian divorce court. They don't want to talk about that. They don't
oh,
want to
well, of
talk to
course not,
me.
right? But they're
They've
going to get up there and they're going to make these videos. And they do some good stuff, but at the same time, I don't think they're serious. I think they're there for the wrong reason.
oh, they're there for the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they're there
fame
for the
and
money, the
money.
views. They
Views and
get the
money, views and money.
yeah, they're getting the views and they're getting the manginas to donate money to them. It's easy. I
Yeah,
mean, if you could just literally, if you could just make videos and pander to women and they mailed you money, that'd be a pretty enticing thing to do, right? And that's all that they're doing. They're just making videos purely to for their own self advancement. In some cases, like Ukrainian Lens and Georgia Frew, they're making videos in
yeah,
order to snare a husband,
yeah.
which means get money, right?
Well, which is basically to bring home the ATM machine.
Yeah, they're there out fishing for the ATM machine. Georgia Frew couldn't find an ATM machine just in her own local little community, being private, so she's gone on YouTube trying to expand the size of the pool. She's looking for that dumb cuck to give her money.
Hey, have you noticed the switch in trends? You know, for years, women have been chasing the bad boys. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
pay attention, it's almost become half and half now. And it's slowly, women are moving away from the bad boy
Well,
because they're picking the simp, the perfect vagina, the
yeah,
slave, because they get the ATM machine and they get the perfect slave who will do every beck and call. And she's not going to used to be the simp was considered weak because these women wanted the challenge. But
yeah.
now they're not so much about the challenge because it's a lot of drama, even though they still want the drama, but they want the control, the power.
Yeah. I mean, as they get older and they realize that the bad boy's not going to marry them, they want to nail down a simp. And Cassie J's the classic of that. I did a video not that long ago with an interview between, can't remember his name, the guy that finished up marrying Cassie J, right? So in that interview, that guy is just such a wet blanket. And, you know, Cassie J came to California as I'm going to be an actress and be famous and all the rest of it. Oh, Evan's his name. And so she didn't become an actress. She didn't become famous. And she hit 30 and she's like, I got to nail someone down, right? And Evan's like, well, I'm not marrying you because you're a rabid feminist. So the whole red pill movie was Cassie J's lie to Evan to get him to marry her. The whole thing was that. And what men put in $160,000 free money for her to make the movie, and then paid hundreds of thousands of dollars more to buy tickets to the movie, to fly around the world, and all that sort of
Ah,
stuff. And the whole thing was her lying pitch to get a simp to marry her, right? And you can see it if you watch the video that I did on my channel about that. You can see how much of a simp he was, and you can see she actually tells you her whole plan about how she went about doing it in a woman's way, right? And the guys on my channel who are a bit more awake go, "It's unbelievable this simp fell for this." But how many men have given Cassie J money to make her movie, to buy tickets and supported her, versus how many men have given you or I money and supported you or I, right?
Yeah, exactly. And anymore because of the situation, you got so many men that are so desperate,
Yeah,
so desperate, and it's like I tell them, what? As you mean, you whining and complaining and crying, and you're so desperate to get this woman in your life, and you're living TFL, and I'm sort of like, so what? You're to a point now where you're in a hurry to be abused. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know why you're in a hurry to be abused. You're taking a hammer and you're hitting yourself in the head because, in reality, the way people treat each other in today's society and what we've seen going on, you don't realize being TFL in a lot of advantages has a lot of more perks to it than you think it does. You ain't got to worry about drama. You ain't got to worry about being abused. You ain't got to worry about cops. You ain't got to worry about being an ATM machine. You know, Dave's been living TFL. He's Steve Oka's age. He's 48. His whole life. Okay?
yeah,
But he's getting ready to retire. He had a good job and he's got all this money put up. He owns his own condo. Well, do you think he'd own his own condo and be right on top of retirement with this big pension and all this money put up if he had a woman in his life?
yeah.
Nope, he wouldn't be. You know the reason he has all that? Because he
Because he,
didn't have a woman in his life.
yeah, that's right. Didn't have someone to lie about him and steal from him and all the rest of it. Didn't have a bunch of kids that took a lot of money to raise and all the rest of it. No,
Yeah,
didn't have all that. So he gets to retire before he's 50. That's how that goes.
yeah.
How
So,
that goes.
so there are actually some perks
Yeah,
because in today's society, I wouldn't advise you to hurry up and jump into something just because the drama. People, I don't care what you say. Drama may be your new form of love, but it's also the tool that created its very own killer.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
also the tool that'll bring the cops through your door, that'll lead you down that road to no fault divorce, okay? That will screw up your whole life. I hate drama with a passion. I hate it with a passion. And I only put up with it for so long, and then I say, and I cut it. Done.
yeah,
Over. Get the fuck out. I don't want you around me ever again.
yeah. But
Because I don't want.
women just love drama. Everything's got to be a drama. Everything's got to be a drama.
Yeah.
It's over. After, like, I was married for 18 years. I was with Jennifer for 23 years. After a while, it's just too much. It's just like, give me a break. This is too much.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it's over
it's just like,
anything and everything.
yeah, anything and everything. So it's like, this has got to be done sometime or other. But anyhow,
The programming, Peter. The programming.
yeah, it's just
Really.
just more and more drama.
It is.
Okay. Well,
But hey,
anyhow, I think that's a good
I do
session.
so.
I think we can put a bow on this one and put it out there. What do you think?
I do believe so. It was nice having
Yeah,
Peter here. So,
yeah, it's good to catch up. It's good to catch up. But yeah, I mean, I don't see things getting much better anytime soon. The economy in the US is going a little bit better, but the next time the Democrats get in, they'll make another complete dog's breakfast of it.
yeah, it's just going to be another show.
Another
I'm going to
pantomime.
stop the recording at this point. So,